نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. This session is dedicated to speak about the rights of the husband, which would sound and seem a bit biased, but what will balance it, the session that Sheikh Salim will inshallah give about the rights of the wife. So don't be offended, because what we're talking about is pure shara, pure sharia. This is the law of Allah Azza wa Jal. Any feeling that is a bit negative in your heart, and I'm talking to the sisters, you should immediately eliminate it. Because Allah, as mentioned twice in Surah Al-Hadid, told us that resentment and hatred of Allah's law would render your deeds invalid. Meaning it is an act of apostasy to hate Allah's law. So immediately, anytime you feel such unease, you immediately discard this and transform it into سَمِعْنَا وَأَطَعْنَا غُفْرَانَكَ رَبَّنَا وَإِلَيْكَ الْمَصِيرُ. Having said that, Islam holds a very important status and position for the husband. And this is what the enemies of Islam are trying relentlessly to change. Through their media, through their movies, through their culture, through their laws. And unfortunately, us Muslims are weak and we're vulnerable. We're ready to change and to adapt to anything just in order to blend. So even braiding the hair, we're ready to do that. It's okay, I'm ready to do that. Muslims are ready to wear bracelets. They're ready to wear necklaces. In this first saf, you see men wearing necklaces. What is this? Blending in. We're weak. We want to imitate. So when it comes to issues of the status of man, of a husband, a lot of women among the Muslims are negatively affected. But Islam is firm. Listen, Allah says about the status of man. Men are in charge of women by right of what Allah has given one over the other and what they spent for maintenance from their wealth. الرجال قوامون على النساء. This is mentioned in the Quran. The Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, if a woman prays her 5 daily prayers, fast her month, that is Ramadan, guards her chastity, and obeys her husband, 4 things only, what will happen? It will be said to her, enter paradise from whichever of the gates of paradise you wish. Only 4 things the woman is told to do. And the Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, if I were to command anyone to prostrate to anyone other than Allah, I would have commanded women to prostrate to their husbands. Wow. He says, by the one in whose hand is the soul of Muhammad, no woman can fulfill her duty towards Allah until she fulfills her duty towards her husband. As a woman, if I were to hear this hadith, would I say Sami'na wa ata'na on the spot? Or, but subhanAllah, but he does this, he does that, his mother did this, his father did that, and he's not giving me my rights, he scolds me, he criticizes. What are you doing? This is shaitan kicking in your head, so that you do not accept Allah's law, the ayat of the Quran, the Prophet's hadith, Be careful. Once the Prophet saw a woman, alayhi salatu wasalam, and he said, do you have a husband? She said, yes. So he said, how are you with him? She says, I do not neglect any of his rights except those I'm unable to fulfill. Meaning, I'm doing the best of my ability to please him. So the Prophet said, alayhi salatu wasalam, look at how you are with him, for he is your paradise and your hell. What does that mean? Depending on how you deal with him. If you deal with him in a good way and please him and obey him, he's your paradise. He will take you directly to Jannah. But if you do not do the above, you will go to hell because of your nagging, because of your disobedience, because of the discomfort you're introducing to his life. What does this tell you? It tells me that Islam clearly favors men over women. Correct. Shaykh, there is equality. No. There is no equality in Islam between man and woman. Like Sheikh Salim said yesterday. There's no equality. If there is equality, this year I will become pregnant. So next year she becomes pregnant, the following year I become pregnant. There is no equality. Otherwise I would sit home for a year, relax, and she goes and works, pays the bill and the utility bills and the rent, etc. There is fairness, there is adl. So there are many rights for the husband over his wife, but we don't have enough time, unfortunately. Number one, to obey him in everything he orders her, as long as it's one, normal, and two, there is no sin in it. There is no sin, we understand. No, but you don't have to be a rocket scientist. Take off your hijab. I don't like it when you go out with me and people are looking at you black and black. Take off your hijab. No, this is sinful. Okay, keep your hijab. But when my friends come, my cousins, my brothers, you come and sit with them without hijab. No, this is sinful. There is no dispute in that. Khalas. Haram is haram. Okay, sit with me and let's watch Netflix. Let's watch this concert. Let's watch filthy pornography. A'udhu billah. It's you and me, my wife. No problem. No, there is a problem. This is sinful. End of story. But what do you mean by obeying him in what is normal? When he says, stand on one foot for half an hour. Allah told you to obey me. Why would I? Is it sinful? No, but why would I? Because I want. Turn off the air conditioning. We will roast. It's hot, it's 35, 45 degrees outside. I just want this. When I leave, no electricity in the house. No, this is not normal. You're crazy. Simple as that. This is not normal. This is what is meant. And we have a lot of evidences to that. I don't think you need evidences. You just need an eye-opener because of time constraints. Number two, his right for a woman to protect his reputation and to take care of his wealth and children. What is reputation? In Arabic, the Arabs call their women ird. What is ird in Arabic? Inna dima'akum wa amwalakum wa a'radakum haramun alaykum fi kahurmati yawmikum hada. This is in the farewell hadith. The Prophet said, your wealth, your blood, and your ird. Ird and qul. So ard or ird. It is the place where your insult affects or your praise affects. This is ard. So whatever criticism I get, you're speaking in my ird. And the Arabs consider their women folk their ird. So any attempt to abuse them, to harass them, to slander them, you are attacking my ird. So here, it's one of the husband's rights that his ird is protected by not coming out in tabarruj, in not abiding by the hijab. Because when other people see, what will they say? Oh, the husband is a youth. The husband does not care whether his women folk commit haram, go out with men, feast their eyes on their beauty. So this is reflecting on me. It's coming back on me. It's my reputation and my ird. It is a woman's duty as a right of the husband to protect that. What does Allah say? Allah says in Ayah 34, Surah An-Nisa, chapter 4. So, righteous women are devotedly obedient, guarding in the husband's absence what Allah would have them guard. فَالصَّالِحَاتُ قَانِتَاتٌ حَافِظَاتٌ لِلْغَيْبِ بِمَا حَفِظَ اللَّهِ. So this is part of the husband's rights. Number 3, to adorn themselves and to beautify themselves, not to the public, only for your eyes only, as a husband. Why? Because the man is also ordered to do this, but this is not my talk. This is Sheikh Salim's talk. A woman has to always be top-notch when the husband looks, and top-notch when the husband smells. Why, is he a dog? Is he going to sniff? Go ahead. No. It is the Arab advice to their daughters. Since 2,000 years, in the literature of Arabia, all women advise their daughters, even at the time of the Prophet and before that, as a son. My daughter, don't let him see something unpleasant, and don't ever let him smell something unpleasant. A righteous woman showers once or twice a day, just for the sake of being clean, being pure. She applies body lotion, as men do. Sheikh, men do that? Yes, they do that. I do that. To whom? To you? No, of course not. I believe much. No, I don't know my wife. Because I like from her what she likes from me. But this is not my point. My point is, Sheikh Salim will talk about, women has to always be top-notch. Why is it when she goes to a wedding or to visit someone, she spends half an hour with the hair dryer in the room? What are you doing? Vacuuming? No, not doing my hair. I'm going out. And he said, why? So I'm your wife. Well, I couldn't recognize you. Why did you look like this for me? Because I'm going out. So she doesn't do this to me. No. A righteous woman does it as a form of ibadah. She's worshipping Allah when she's applying makeup, or taking care of her hair, or wearing nice dresses, or smelling nice. She's doing it for ajr, not necessarily something is going to happen, but she wants reward. If the niyyah is like this, that is a righteous woman. Number 4, she confines herself to her home. Oh, Sheikh, no, this is too much. I have to go to the mall. I have to go to Al-Blokat. I have to go Salmiya and Barkiya. Avenues. I have to do a Sheikh, I can't, I feel fed up. I have to at least take the car and go for 1 hour, 2 hour drive. What is this? I'm fed up, Sheikh. No. Listen to what Allah says. وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنْ, and abide in your houses, and do not display yourselves as was the display of the former times of ignorance. This is Allah's words in the Quran. وَقَرْنَ, stay home. What are you, prisoners? Are you arguing with me? This is what Allah says in the Quran. But Allah Azza wa Jalla did not say you're prisoners. You can go if there's a legitimate reason, but to be on the street 24 hours, 7 days a week. Brothers come to me and complain. Sheikh, wallahi, my wife, I don't know, she wasn't feeling good. She took off and came back at 1 o'clock a.m. She wasn't replying to my mobile. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Who's wearing the pants? Who's the man? She came back at 1. Where were you? Just roaming around down the corniche. I wasn't feeling good. That's normal. I'm a human being. No, this is not normal. One of you is the man. And women don't do this normally. Number 5, she must not, and number 6. Number 5, she must not allow anyone the husband does not approve of in his home, and she must not fast when he's present in town, voluntary fasts without his permission. The Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, no woman should fast when her husband is present without his permission. And she should not allow anyone to enter his house without his permission. Of course, she would not allow the plumber to come in. She would not allow the electrician to come in. No. This is what we mean of mahrams, for example. So her uncle wants to come in and the husband doesn't approve of it. She has to seek permission. So this is a must, that she seeks permission. But most, if not all husbands, give an open permission. They have no problem. I give my wife an open permission since we married 40 years ago. I don't care who she admits home because I trust my wife. She never asks me where she's going because I trust my wife. Although Islamically she cannot leave the house without taking my permission, but I am not a tyrant. I know my wife. But this is my right as a husband. What about some of the husbands who prevent their wives from giving a reception to their parents? There are husbands that say, if your father comes or your mother comes, don't let them in. And the sister calls. It's an issue of dispute. And the most authentic opinion, he has no right. Except if the father or the mother are deviant and corrupt. They spoil her thinking. They ask her to do indecent and immodest actions. In this case, yes, she's obliged to obey. But normal cases, just because there is difference of opinion or his parents are fighting with her parents, so he wants to punish them, no, he has no right to prevent her from seeing them or admitting them, because this is silatul rahim. Bearing this in mind, the woman has definitely no right to say, well, my mom is visiting us for 3 months and you have to host her. No, I don't have to host her. She can go to any hotel. Yes, she can come 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, but more than that, no, this is my house. So she has to acknowledge this. Number 7, my right over my wife, that she should accept whatever I can provide and not ask for the sky. And this is unfortunately not the case. Many women demand, I want this, I want that, financially, where the husband is unable to provide for these things. So a righteous woman would accept the very little that is provided. Allah says, let a man of wealth spend from his wealth, and he whose provision is restricted, let him spend from what Allah has given him. Allah does not charge a soul except according to what He Azza wa Jal has given it. My income is 100 KD. Don't ask me to provide you a house that the rent is 100 KD. Where am I going to feed you from? Where am I going to pay the utility bills? So you have to be realistic and logical. Number 8, and this is one of the greatest rights of a husband over his wife. The Prophet says, alayhi salatu wasalam, if a woman sleeps abandoning her husband's bed, the angels curse her until she goes back. So the right of intimacy, this is a clear-cut right. You don't like him, you don't feel like it, you're angry because of what he said or what he has done. No justification, no excuse. Yes, if you're sick and this is harmful for you, Allah gives you the option. But every time the poor man, he has only one wife, and he sees so much fitna outside. Everywhere he goes, there are people not abiding by the hijab. Sometimes even at work, he's being seduced, he's being lured by the co-workers and the opposite gender. And as the song says, I'm a family man, but if you push me too far, I just might. Shaitan is there. So what do I do? This is the only halal outlet. And there is no retailer. This is the only place I have. What do? I go to where Allah made halal. Oh, I have headache. Oh, I have to sleep early. Oh, I do this, I do that. What do I do, Sheikh? Get a second wife. Or a third wife. I can't afford it. Then let it be known that your wife is being cursed every single night until the break of dawn. By whom? By the angels. And do you think Allah will respond to the angels or neglect them? Allah answers their dua. So this is a very critical point. And again, and again, and again. This is a form of worship. If a woman proposes and displays herself to be intimate for the sake of Allah, he's having fun, she's having fun, and she's rewarded as if she prayed night prayer or fasted, voluntary fasting. The Prophet ﷺ prohibited a woman from fasting Mondays and Thursdays and the 3 white days unless the husband gives her okay. Sheikh, he did not have intimacy with me for a whole month and tomorrow is Monday. Can I fast? No. Sheikh, he doesn't even look at me. You have to ask for permission or your fasting is invalid. Allah will not accept it. This is how important a husband is in Islam. Number 9, she has to, and this is my right as a husband, take care of my children. When I selected a wife, I did not just select a wife for intimacy. I selected the mother of my children. And I want her to take care of my children because I work 8 to 10 hours a day outside. She sits with them more than I do. She's more tolerant. She's more patient. And Sheikh Salim yesterday reminded us, Ummuk, thumma ummuk, thumma ummuk. So she's the one who has to invest and put more effort. Yes, the father has to do some work, but he's a manager. So one word of him is equivalent maybe to 2 hours of the mother. And he does this. Boys, khalas, they stopped. They're disciplined. But at the same time, the vast majority of the hard work is on the wife. Number 10, my right as a husband is that my wife treats my parents, my relatives, my guests well. Because she's my ird. Whatever negativity she attracts and observes reflects and deflects on me and my reputation. And I know hundreds and thousands of men who come to me and they say, Sheikh, wallahi, I am blessed by a mermaid, but she doesn't know how to swim. I am blessed by a hur from Jannah. Wallahi, when guests come to my home, I feel ashamed. I said, what? Sheikh, she takes good care of them. She cleans their rooms. She gives hospitality, food. She buys this until my guests go out with a smile from here to here. They said, man, we had the best time of our lives. She spends hours in the kitchen cooking food for them. After they leave, I kiss her hands and feet. And this is a rare commodity among women. You won't find this, but if you do, hold on to her because she's a gem. Number 11, she is a woman that keeps her husband's secrets. She's not Reuters. She's not Associated Press, and definitely not the CNN. Some women are like this. SubhanAllah. You go to the shopkeeper and you say, Mabruk, mashallah, your cousin got a child. He just got that 5 minutes ago. How did you know? Oh, I have my sources. And then you get to know that your wife was there. Some women go around and expose secrets, especially to their parents. The wife goes, my husband did this, my husband did that. And this is the biggest mistake a woman can do in her life. To complain to her parents about her husband. Because tomorrow he's going to give her a gift or buy her some gold, and she's going to come embracing him the next week, kissing him in front of her parents, and he's the best man in the world. Their parents would not buy this. You've already stabbed them in the heart when you complained about your husband. They're not going to be happy or satisfied with him, except maybe after 10, 15 years. So be careful of what you say. Number 12, of course, secrets in general and specifically intimacy secrets. And this goes for both men and women. These secrets should not leave the chambers at all. Otherwise Allah would consider this, or this is considered to be a major sin. Number 12. My rights over my wife is that she serves me and my children. Not like the new trend now, give me or get me a maid. I don't clean, I don't cook, buy us food from outside. Why? So this is my right in Islam. I had a maid in my father's house, you provide me with 1 or 2. No, this is not right. It is an obligation upon a woman to serve her husband and children in the house, as it is the obligation of the husband to work and provide a ceiling and a roof over their heads and food on the table and pay for their medical expenses, among other things. Allah Azza wa Jal says, and due to them, that is the women, is similar to what is expected from them, according to what is reasonable. So they want things from their husbands, then they have to do their due diligence and provide their husbands what is expected from them. My time is up, but in a nutshell, these are, again, rights. And this does not mean that is it. And the woman does not deal with her husband except with 1 + 1 = 2. Okay, let me see. No, I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. This is not true. There are other things further than rights. A smile, being compassionate, being loving, being caring. It's different than you do your duty because it's a duty, I have to do it. So it's my duty to take you to the hospital when you're sick as a wife. But can you tell by my expression on my face if I'm happy or not? That would make her even more sick. When I'm grumpy and taking, do this, close the door, come, sit, let's go, get the medicine. What is this? Sheikh, he told me it's an obligation to take her to the hospital. I'm doing this. Yes, but there is something further, more than such an obligation, which is that you show the compassion, al-mawadda, al-rahma, al-sakina, al-tuma'nina, all of these beautiful Arabic words must be included in a relationship between a man and his wife. So, sisters, this was dedicated to you, and you may feel that this is bias, but as I said, I'm telling you what the Sharia says. And now you will hear from Sheikh Salim what your rights are and that the husband should be doing. And I hope he's also a bit biased towards the sisters so that they would feel the balance. But at the end of the day, men do have an extra edge over women. And this is a given. You have to understand this. This is how Allah created us. There's no equality, but there is fairness and justice according to the Quran and Sunnah. And once you adopt this, once you get this in your system, and you feel synchronized, wallahi, you will be the happiest woman on earth. The happiest woman who sits back home with a PhD or a master's degree, and her in-laws and her family say, go to work, earn money, get some cash. And she says, this is natural. I'd like to stay home, take care of my husband, take care of my house, do my chores, do what I need to do with my children. This is the happiest moment in my life, because this is what Allah created me for, and this is what I was created for. Unlike those who have to have two souls, so they work, they do their chores, they cook, they serve, and they have to go and work 8 hours in the office or at school just for few dinars or dirhams. And then what? Where is the peace of mind? Where is the tranquility? Where is the ability to do what Allah told me to do? They've lost it. And I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal that He grants us the acceptance of His religion, and He makes us a coolness to our spouses' eyes, and to be the best of parents to our children. هذا والله أعلم ونسبة العلم إليه أسلم وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد.